What's up, Mike? From Cleveland.
Really?
Yeah, Ohio.
Yeah.
Paul's hometown.
Yeah.
Howdy from Dallas.
What's
What's
up,
up,
John?
John? What's up, Wayne? Yeah, that's where Destiny's in Ohio now, so Mom just got back from Ohio. She had a great time. Lots of fun there. Hey, awesome video on the Chevy. Oh, no problem. There's more to come, trust me. What's up from Orlando? Is it Friday yet? I totally feel that way. I mean,
I wish it can be Saturday.
you know, it was, what's up from Utah? Is it any good? Also, about the napkin, what are your thoughts on audio frog, cardio frog? Wow, that's a whole bunch of stuff. The Helix, yes, it's a great product for sure. The Nav TV M650 GM right now is the only game in town, so it works wonderfully.
Yeah.
Audio Frog is, yeah, it's really good stuff. It's a guy named Andy Weinheimer. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. It's his baby, and he's the guy. He's the man. He makes great stuff. So yeah, there's three awesome things right there.
What's up, Dustin? What's up, Victor?
Now, the reason why I say right now the 650 is the only game in town is because we're waiting on the Pack Pro GM piece to come out, which will be half the price. So unfortunately, we're kind of where we're at right there. So we don't know yet. When are you going to put your diet plan on dnftooldrawer.com? I don't know. You know, the hardest thing is finding the tennis shoes that I use. I use the Newton tennis shoes, and yeah, it's like the ones I use have the thinner sole.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to see what they look like, you can follow me on
Instagram.
number 5-star Dean on Instagram. That's where I'm keeping track of all my runs, my shoes, my daily life. We're also putting up all my old installs from back in the day. So if you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, follow me there. Don't follow me on Facebook because I never do anything on Facebook. So follow me on Instagram, and you can kind of keep up with what's going on in my life. You know,
What happened with Dean? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. I post everything, you know. There's three aspects of things that I pay attention to. One is obviously car audio, which there again is on 5-star, and all my old stuff is there.
Yeah.
Photography, which I'm a big fan of. I'm still working on that aspect of putting that stuff up, but then also running. So you can check me out there.
All right. What is your opinion on the 4200 versus the 2330?
I'm gonna go with the 4200. Yeah, I mean, if all you're looking for is CarPlay, then the 23 is going to be fine. Good day. What's up, Jason?
What's up, Jay?
The 23 is going to be fine for CarPlay. If you're trying to build, and there again, if you're building a basic system, you're good.
Yeah.
But the 4200, now the 4400, is a much better audio product. There are some problems, though, with the 4200. They've always been there. They've been there since the 4000 series existed. One of those is the ability to back up the settings, so when you set your EQ and your time correction and all that, there's no way to save that. There is on the new 44, but there isn't on a 42, a 41, or a 4000. But there is on a 23. So that's been the kind of like the suck of it all. The other thing about the 42 is it does have dual USBs, which allows you to do multiple things. Now with the 4400, you get all the features that the 23s, the 24s had, which is the update to the NEX, which is things like better video over USB, which that's the 1080, so you could just put 1080 on a thumb drive, plug it in, and it'll down-res it for you. You couldn't do that on anything, but you could do it on a 2300. The problem with the 2300 was it only has one USB, so you can't really do that. So the 44 fixes all that.
Yep.
So if I was to buy anything, it would be a 44 if I was going to buy a flagship Pioneer. Plus, they redesigned the audio section in it to make it even better than the 42, which the 23 was supposed to be leading in its class, but the 42 still sounded better, in my opinion.
All right.
What's up from Australia?
Nick Stereo.
Okay.
All right, let me see. When you guys do installation with the Tesla tape, 10 flex, and ferrules, do you guys charge to the customer extra, or it's part of the install price?
It's part of the install price. We've kind of come to the conclusion, as far as Paul, that there's no good way to like do a good and better best install. It's like you either get it all or you don't get anything. So when it comes to like what comes out of standard install is going to be the Tessa tape, the Flexi Loom, the shrink wrap. What you pay extra for is sound dampening and fast rings. Those are always going to be an upcharge because those you have to charge more for. A guy that's putting in a $50 set of speakers isn't going to spend $150 to put them in. But when it comes to just putting in a basic amp, it's like I can't do it crappy. You can't just be like, oh, he's getting a 5 o'clock special. No, you just do it right the first time, and that's that. So always do the best. That's that, and you just pay for it. So what that means is that, we're not going to be the cheapest in town, but then again, I don't care. I'm not here to be the cheapest in town. We have plenty of guys up the street that'll, flea market your crap in your car and rock on. So how the hell are you guys? 8292 Firebird owner are dying without double ding kits available. Is there nothing? Please help. Have you been on to metroonline.com? I believe they have the kit for that now, the double ding kit. I'm almost positive they have a double ding kit for your Firebird on there. And I'm sure if Jason's not busy, he'll eventually pop it up on the screen for us. So we'll leave it at that.
Hey, what's up, New Hampshire? From Filipinas. Wow.
Hey, your customers are lucky. My installer charges way extra for the same treatment. No, that's not to say they're not. We just don't have two-tier pricing. It's like you're either getting it all or we're not doing it. I mean, it's to that point to where it's too hard to be. Here's the thing I've found out over the years when I worked for a previous installer is that. We tried to have tier pricing, and we tried to be like, hey, listen, we'll give you a better set of RCAs, $20 more, $50 more. It's like popcorn at a movie theater. I use that analogy a lot. It's like, your base. Every time I go to buy popcorn at the movie, it's like, I just want a small popcorn. For $1 more, we'll give you the next size up. For $2 more, we'll give you the next size up from that. It's like, no, I just want a small. A lot of people don't want to spend any more money. So it's like you say, for $50, we'll do this. For $70, we'll do that. For $100, we'll do this. It's like, what at the end of the day, what's the difference between 100 and 50? It's like, tape.
Right. All right. So
I don't need tape. So no. So for us, it's like no, it's not tape. It's like the difference between us making it look like the factory put it in, or better, and just slapping it in your car. And I don't want to slap it in your car. So either we just say, this is what we charge. This is what it's going to look like. You pay the premium price, or you go to the next guy.
All right, I noticed the new 4400 that we are able to control a customer Android phone from the radio while using Miracast.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, you can. And it's not it's only Android phone.
Yeah.
It's not really Mircasts. I hate that term.
Hello.
But you cannot do it from an iPhone. So.
All right. So tell Teddy why we don't make custom boxes.
For one, every time we cut a piece of wood in the install bay, it throws dust everywhere, even with a vacuum system. Two, I'm over it. I gotta be honest with you, I'm over it. I don't really feel the need. We have Bright Star Car Stereo literally down the street. Sean stops by here every other day. If I need a box built, I can blueprint up the box. I can text it to Sean. Sean will build me the box and drop it off.
Exactly the same.
So I don't have, and he'll build it how I want it. If I want internal bracing, if I want whatever I want, he'll build it for me, and I don't have to sneeze. I built boxes my whole career. The pictures that I'm putting up on Instagram, you'll see that. My record for the day is 2212 ported boxes because we didn't do prefabs. We just, and I hate the term prefab because it just means we made it before you bought it.
Okay.
So I'm over it. It's really what it comes down to. I don't feel the need to have to do something that there's so many good alternatives out there now. Now, there again, custom, totally different. Why we don't do custom? Mainly because we don't have the time to do it. The way Paul set the shop up, spending the time and have we got one bay, man. We got one bay.
One bay.
And you pull a car in, we work on it, pull a car out, we stop working on it. So to have a car taking up that one bay, We don't have room out back. We can't park like 6 cars out back and hop from those because it's actually a road behind us that cars drive by, trucks drive by, so we can't be outside. We've filmed videos where we've been outside all day, and it's a nightmare. So yeah, it's a long, lengthy answer, but that's why. I mean...
Yeah. All right, Dave. If you want to know about prices, please call Paul,
from Modesto,
the store,
what's up?
And he will give you the prices. All right. So Jeremy say, hey, I have an audio pod 1800.1 and a SCAR audio 400 watts, 4-way, powering 2 Alpine R15s, and I have a XS powered 3300 and a yellow top.
You got a bunch of stuff.
I have a big 3 0 gauge through. But my bolts still drop. Any other tips?
Well, at the end of the day, regardless of what you have in your car, you know, power starts somewhere. Power starts at the alternator. So whether you did your big 3, whether you have 6,000 batteries, you know, if I've got a 50-gallon bucket that I'm trying to fill up with a garden hose, it's going to take some time. I don't know if any of you guys. Okay, better yet. If any of you guys have ever had the pleasure of filling up a waterbed, okay, you hook a hose up to it, you go out to the faucet, you turn it up. Now, waterbed is this giant sack of water. It takes like 4 or 5 hours to fill this thing up. Yeah. Okay? So if you have 2 batteries, you've got all the best wire in the world going to it, but you got a little tiny alternator sitting there trying to fill it. You got great piping, but with no pressure. That means that you've done everything you can shy of adding in a big alternator, or adding a second alternator, or plugging it in at night to charge. Those are really your options. That's it. That's all it comes down to. Okay.
All right, 18. I just recently bought a used Alpine Universal Brick Amp. The speaker wires were cut.
Yes.
Really, really short. So it's any way I can buy...
Yes. PackParts.com.
There you go.
Pack Parts, not to be confused with Pack Audio. PackParts.com. PackParts.com is out of California. They carry all the parts for Pioneer, Alpine, Kenwood. That's where you buy the parts. Be prepared though, because they're not cheap.
Health, that's a new follower. Thank you for watching from Tennessee. I believe it's Tennessee. Yeah. So thank you for watching.
Fred asked, do you have MECP certification? Is it worth getting? To answer your question, it's totally worth getting. Do I have it? No. Mainly it's a time thing, and it just...
Ontario, Canada.
Pisses me off that I can't get it in a PDF form. I actually have all 3 books sitting in the trunk of my car right now. It's one of those things that I look at and I wish I had time to do. And it's not an excuse that I don't have time. It's an excuse that this show and working has taken away the time I would have to do that. Now, I'm an avid believer in knowing information is the key to anything. So any chance I get to read something, learn something, do something, watch a video, I do it. I'm constantly updating my knowledge base. So MECP is a great way to do that, especially if you're just coming into this industry, because you have no idea, and it's a quick way to get started in learning the things that we need to know. I also have 28 years of experience behind me that I've built over the years, a library of knowledge, so you should definitely do it.
Alright, so Jeff say, hey, happy Monday guys. Jeff has a 2018 Forester with the Harman Kardon system.
Yes.
Option will gain much if you anything by changing the factory system speakers with an aftermarket ones. I don't want to change the radio because it has GPS and everything.
What car is it?
The Forester.
Oh, the Forester. Oh, they don't make anything for the Forester. I mean, yes.
I mean, if he take the whole system,
if you're keeping the radio, fine. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of tools out there to allow you to make it sound better. I mean, that if you caught today's video on Install Diaries, we had a Chevy Cruze. That's what this whole video is leading up to, is the headache of getting factory radio that we're keeping aftermarket system in it. So you definitely, there's tools to do that. You know, you have the audio control DM608. It just depends. You have just an LC7i, you have an LC8i. There's lots of things that allow you to do that. What you might want to do is check out our videos on audio control. Check out the LC7i videos. We have 3 different videos on that talk about different ways to use that tool, which could help. As far as headphones for running, track, I honestly don't remember what they're called. They're brand new. Well, they're not brand new. They're brand new for me. I actually just bought them, and they rest. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm actually going to put a post up on them tonight after I get done running, because I've been meaning to talk about them. They're really cool. They actually sit here and they rest on your temples, so they don't actually go into your ears. So your ears stay perfectly. You can hear everything, which is nice, because I used to use Jaybirds, which I love the Jaybirds, but they went from a 2 to like a 4, and they go in your ears really tight, and they sound great. For like generally working out in a gym, the Jaybirds are the way to go. But for running out on the street where cars can run you over, these are much better, because they just sit here on your temples, and it just kind of, it's something titanium. I can't remember what they're called. They're really cool though, and they're like $100. They're real reasonable. But check it out tonight on Instagram. I'm gonna put up a picture of them, and you can get them.
All right, Jeff. Speaking about dual USB, I have a Kenwood DMX 7704S.
Yes.
And it supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Yes.
Apparently, we're more partial with Apple CarPlay because the USB you use for the flash drive is the same one you have to use for Android Auto.
Not true.
Do you have a way to do flash drive and Android Auto phone?
So on the 04 series Kenwood, it doesn't matter which one it was, it had dual USB. USB 1 was for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. It was a universal port.
That's the black one.
That's the black one. USB 2 was for Android Auto. You could do Android Auto on either USB and a hard drive. Yeah. Okay. The problem was they didn't really think it through all that well, and they limited what that USB 2 could actually read. Aftershock, that's them. Yeah. Yep, those are the headphones. Aftershock. Yep, good call. Thank you, Mark. They're awesome. Not to change. Okay, back to the Kenwood. So that it's really, if anything, the Kenwood was designed more for the Android Auto, because you could do it on either USB 1, USB 2. But that's the problem with that. You could throw a hard drive on USB 2 encoded to NTFS with all the videos, all the music, all the crap you want, throw it in your glove box, and play CarPlay on USB 1. That's how that's supposed to work.
All right, Donald.
Hey, from Sweden.
Hey,
Go
Sweden. Ahead. Donald, do you prefer working on small shops like where you're right now, or in a big shop? Like 6 bays and 8 installers and everything. So I like the big bay.
I've always worked at a small shop. My last employer, we had 1 car, 1 bay. It was 3 of us that worked on them though, so typically we had 2 cars going on at the same time. We could pull them in behind each other, so we do that on hot days. Yeah. Or they tag team the car, and I do all the build outs. So there was a lot of things going on, but the downside to it is, thanks any time for getting daughter to practice. Okay, cool. Get daughter to practice soccer. Love soccer. But the problem with the small shop is it's always going to be a small shop. I've never worked in big bays. It's tantalizing. Trust me, it's very tantalizing. But I'm not the guy that wants to sit there and work on a car with 8 other guys working on cars. I can't do that. I've always been in the position when I've had, we've had 4 installers. It's my job to make sure those 4 installers are doing what they're supposed to do. I'm way better at that, managing what everyone is doing, because that's how my brain works. I have to make sure I know what that car's doing, that car's doing, that car's doing, that car's doing, make sure they're all doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's just it. I can't work on and I can work on my projects, but yeah, even when we had 4 guys, it was like my job was to make sure those 4 guys were doing what they're supposed to do. So.
All right, Will Kill, that's his name.
Okay.
I have a Mercedes-Benz say CLK 500 with a Harman Kardon system. I would like to change the head unit with the 7200 NEX. What do I need?
What does he need? What kind of car is it?
It's a Mercedes-Benz. I lost it. Mercedes-Benz.
Well, if it's a Mercedes-Benz...
CLK 500.
Okay, there's two places you can go for Mercedes-Benz parts. And two places. One, nav-tv.com. And two is metraonline.com.
Yes.
Now, navtv.com is going to be the place I would start first because they have the best tech support. They have Dave, and he's great. And if they make anything, that's what you want to buy. It will be the more money, but that's what you want to buy because it will work. Otherwise, Metra Online, they're going to be the only other people that have it. If they have it, great. I would buy Nav TV first and then Metra second. That's where you want to go to look for parts. That's
all
it.
right. Chris say I have a 2004 Expedition
Germany.
running new speakers.
Hey, from Atlanta. Go ahead.
Running new speaker
Corey.
wires and adding a Kenwood A01 5-channel with a 10-inch subwoofer. What 5.7 or 6x8 would you recommend? I listen rock and metal, mostly with some rap.
I like Jason's comment. Big shops can be chaotic sometimes. No, they can be chaotic all the time. There's no question about it. I'm with you. And you have a big shop, so
a lot of chaos in your shop.
That's the thing. But for me, I thrive in that environment. That to me is harmony. Just making sure these, just smacking heads and making sure shit's going on. Okay, 5x7, 6x8s. What are the best ones, Fernando? Rockford Power Series. That's
Power
the
Series.
T 5x7 are the best 5x7s you're going to find.
Yes.
You can put power to them. You can run without power, whatever turns you on. Obviously, a small little 50-watt power amp to them. Maybe a brick amp if you don't want to go crazy. But those are your best, loudest. Put whatever you want to them. They're going to sound great. 5x7s. End of story. Next question.
All right. Jason said I have a 2017.
Hey guys, good to see you. Thanks, Sean. Okay.
Yeah, what's that, John? Eden?
Harrison. Yeah. Hey, what's up? Keep going.
Jason said 2017 Jeep Renegade installing a Kenwood 7704 with Maestro. At first, my dynamic lines from the factory cam work.
Right.
The factory camera worked on.
Right.
On the Kenwood now it's just having static lines. Any idea how to get him back?
So when it comes to dynamic lines, iData is real specific about which ones work and which ones don't work. A lot of the times they're constantly updating the modules.
Yeah.
So I would call iData. They have great tech support.
Yeah.
They've never let me down. They're not like calling other companies that we don't really like, but we recommend because they're the only game in town. So I would give them a call. If it's possible to do, they're going to explain to you how it can be done. As far as Victor asked, going back to the bay, do you ever see Paul getting a bigger bay? At the end of the day, hey, it's the end of the day. Hey!
Yeah. In the end of the day.
In the end of the day. No, if anyone missed that joke reference, go back and watch Saturday's show. Yeah, we talk about it all the time. We really love to consolidate the 3 stores that we're currently using. But it's a location issue. Like our location where we're at is really nice as far as for walk-through traffic. We're at a great intersection, so we get a lot of visibility where we're at, right across the street from the original Hooters. So everyone sitting in Hooters physically looks at the cool 5-star sign and they go, "Dude, those are those guys. They do that show." And So it's tough right now where we're at. We want to stay, but we're we're limited and there again, we don't,
What's that, Andy from Atlanta?
Our plans and Paul's plans don't always do this, so...
All right.
We don't know.
So, Jeff asks, what is your favorite head unit right now?
So, I don't have the 4400 in my car yet. That was supposed to happen last week and didn't. Kind of bummer there. Right now, I have the 9905. Out of the radios that I've played with, which were the 309, we had another Kenwood in there, and I've obviously played with all the older Pioneers. Yeah. I know you love the 4200.
I love the 4200. And that will be the 44.
The problem I'm having is, honestly, they all have... I see the flaws in all of them. And that's what drives me nuts. Like, I love the 9905, but I'm bored with it right now because the luster is gone.
James is like, yes, I'm here. That was my joke. Yeah. At the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
At the end of the day.
You know, the things that like irritate me about the 9905 is even though it's totally useless for the most part, the lack of HDMI support just drives me nuts. That drives me crazy. These are little things that most people won't ever notice, but then they did other things, like they added the save settings into the EQ menu, which was a great place for it. So it's like, yeah, too, the thing that the 44 kills me is that it's still the clear resistive screen, even though they went ahead and added their cool new saturation to it to make it more vivid. It's still like, why not just add the better screen and call it a day? I mean, I don't know. It's like,
yeah.
I don't think I can pick just one. You know, I just don't think I can. And there again, like a 309. I love the operating system on the 309 when you compare it to a 207. I feel like the 207, everything that was wrong with the 207,
yeah.
There again, wrong is a term that is like you don't know unless you're a nerd. That they fixed in the 309, but I just that you know, Victor has the big screen and he loves the big screen. I just couldn't. It was too much for me. I'm old, I guess. I don't know. He's older than me, I think. So, I don't know. I just couldn't, you know, so it's,
Yeah. All right.
And this is why I'm flipping through radios right now.
Halo 9, baby.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, and you love it, and it's great in your car. It just sucked in mine. Right. Put the PRS 82 USBs. Or, yeah, the DEH 80 PRS.
Yeah. 80 PRS, maybe.
Yeah, you know, Christian's not wrong. I mean, trust me, that was there. I mean, yeah, I would look into iData Maestro module. Okay, you know, and there's a part of me that was thinking that the other day. I was like, you know, I almost want. I don't need a screen. I just need good sound. So yeah, I don't know. All right, enough time.
All right,
Go ahead.
so David said, "Hey guys, I have a new Pioneer Champion 10-inch subwoofer."
Okay.
I'm sure that's the Champion series. Yeah.
I know Victor. Yeah.
I have a Phoenix Gold 250.1 amp.
Yeah.
Can I put the bigger amp in that 10-inch?
Which Phoenix Gold is he at? 250.1?
The 250.1, small one.
So he's got the Champion series.
I believe like
the
big one, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure
if it's the bigger one with the bigger magnet, yeah, you could probably go up to the 500 by 1 easily, yeah, no problem, because that 250 by 1 is just a small 250 watt amp, so.
All right. Ethan say, hey, is there really that much difference in mid-range sound from the Kenwood 6.5 to the 7-inch?
Oh God, yes. That's not even. Yeah, it's crazy amount of sound.
They put it in the bag and it's like,
dude.
There you go.
Okay, so our nickname for the 7-inch is the mid-bass monster because the mid-bass that comes out of that thing is stupid. I mean, stupid. Wow, it's incredible. So yeah, if you're like, oh my gosh, I want tons of mid-bass, but on the not the crazy expensive price points. Like, you know, the $400 mids and stuff like that. That's a speaker to have because it's got great mid bass. It's insane. Guy just asked about the kicker key.
The key
amp.
Key.
Okay, so little thing with the key. We're going to be doing a whole video on the key. We have a key. We're getting ready to put one in Haley's car. We got to put the key in some new speakers. Yeah. We'd previously put a sub in there. She wants an upgrade to it. I want to add a little bit more than just a brick amp, so we're upping it to the key.
Right.
So we're going to do a set of components, a set of coaxials. We're going to do the whole thing with the key. System. We're going to do the microphone. We're going to walk you guys all through it. We haven't filmed it yet, so slow it down.
We're waiting for something.
Remind me to tell you about that tonight.
Oh, no. Okay.
We're
still waiting.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no.
All right, Martin. Hayden, what do you think about the Pioneer GM 8604? Awesome amp. Nice amplifier. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get it?
I get
what do you think?
About
the amp.
I'm sorry. Which amp? I was totally reading what Victor said. No, you're much happier with what you have, Victor.
Okay. Pioneer GM 8604. What do you think?
Oh, I love the 8604.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pioneer makes 3 amplifiers for the most part. they make 4 amplifiers for the most part. They made the 9605, the 8604, the 9601, and the 8601. 8601, 9601, 8604, 9605. They're all great amplifiers. They all put out a ton of power. They all have great price points. I mean, the price points on these things are phenomenal. If I was to have to say, like, oh, you know, because, like, everyone wants to hear what's bad. These are great power. They do their power. Like, you know, Old School Car Stereo, Derek, Big D Wiz, he did them. They put out their power. They put out their power all day long. So, power for dollar, can't beat them.
Yeah.
2 things that make them kind of, that can, One, the subwoofer volume control is not a true zero control, meaning it's not off, on. It's like bass boost / gain. So that can be annoying at times. And 2, sometimes just the way the amplifiers are designed, you get a turn off pop. So you'll be like, and then it'll turn off. And it's like, oh, what was that? And you turn on. And so those are really, and there again, not all their amps do that. It's only some installs, so it's weird. We can't really nail it down, but
all right, Mark, I have a 2000.
What's up, installer Steve?
All right, I have a 2014 Ram 2500, 8.4 screen, non-Alpine system. I want to keep the head unit and add a subwoofer.
Yeah.
New speakers, 5-channel amp.
Pro.
Could I use the LC7i from the head unit?
No, God, no. Okay.
Oh, wait.
What?
Will be easy to mount under the seat or behind the seats. Amplifiers.
We usually go underneath the seats in that. We build a bracket, go over the air conditioner. Listen, real simple. If you've got a premium sound system in any car, okay, American, period. Some Japanese. So you have a Dodge. It's got an Alpine system. It's got a Beats by Dre. It's got an Infinity. Got whatever. It doesn't matter. Amp Pro. Pack Audio, Pack-Audio, Amp Pro. The Amp Pro plugs into it, gives you 6-channel preamp output. Done deal. It's not a high level to low. It's not a high to low. It's out a full bandwidth, fixed, non-variable, fixed to the amplifier. Okay, it's controlled via data from the volume control. This is one of the things we talk about in the show today. We luckily had a variable voltage. We didn't do a fixed voltage, but we've done plenty. If you go to the Pack playlist on YouTube, you'll see where we did an F-150. There again, works the same way. They have a Sony system, you have an Alpine system. End of the day, it's the same basic system. You have a radio, you have a fixed signal coming out, meaning it doesn't move with the steering wheel control. It's a full bandwidth going into an amplifier. Balance and fader is bullshit. It's not real. When you do balance and fader on the radio, it's not balance and fadering at the amplifier. It's actually just digitally going front, rear. There's not quadraphonic sound happening, okay? It doesn't exist. Not in the modern car.
What's that, Jeremy?
So, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So, Amp Pro, period. Amp Pro. Pack-audio.com. See if your car will take an Amp Pro. If it will, which yours will because it's Dodge Ram with an Alpine system, you're done. Plug it in, life is great. You don't need an LC7i. You don't have to worry about bass roll off. You don't have to worry about nothing.
Amp Pro 5-channel.
Pull the radio out, plug it in with a T-harness, 6-channel, 5-volt preamp out.
It sounds like you're selling it.
I'm just so frustrated that it's like, God, it's the greatest thing in the world. Put it in the car.
All right. Will I need a separate battery when I'm running 2 compact powers for 400x4 and 750x1? The battery is in the engine bay and it's a 65 amp, and I can go bigger.
Biggest battery you can fit underneath the hood is always my motto. If you can fit something bigger, put a bigger battery in. Should you go 2 4 gauge or 1 4 gauge and wide off? Used to be rule of thumb, 1,000 watts, blah, blah, blah. Really what it comes down to is convenience. You know, a lot of the times when we do a system, we got an amp going here, we got an amp going here, we're running 2 4 gauge. It makes life easier because, you know, 4 gauge at the end of the day, it'll handle like 100 amps, maybe 120 amps best.
Yeah.
It's not that expensive to buy 2 4 gauge kits. It's a lot harder to run 0 gauge. Some people are like, why didn't you run 0 gauge in that? Well, because it was a pain. It's the size of a garden hose, and it's really hard to get through the car.
What's up,
2 4 gauge is a little bit lower to the ground. So, should you run 2 4 gauge? The name of the game is to get the most amount of current from here to here. Okay, one 4-gauge or two 4-gauge? Simple answer, two 4-gauge is going to get more current from here to here. Run two 4-gauge. That's it.
Done. All right. Let's see. What's up, guys? One more concept.
Show hands to those who have heard the term quadraphonic sound before. Yes. You have no idea what it is. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Speaking of today's show, I always used some type of LOC when integrating an amp. What output voltage range are we looking for when you can cut and splice the RCAs? Great question. Let me answer this real quick. So what we're looking for is a low voltage, in this case below 4 volts or below 5 volts. Okay, so we're not, that was going, it's feeding an amplifier, so think of it as like RCA line level voltage. You're looking for line level, not high level. So typically high level is going to be like 12 volts, 15 volts, 10 volts. Now some amplifiers will take that because they have high level or low level inputs, but in this case we wanted line level. So what's coming out of that cruise radio is a, what's coming out of that cruise radio was a line level low voltage output that we could just attach to that amplifier, such as adding RCAs, like it's, you know, like a 2-volt radio. We could have put a line driver in there, but not necessary, because there again, the amplifier is designed to take voltage between X and Y, and we were between X and Y. The amplifier we're using in that, which you'll see in a couple days, is the 5-channel Rockford that has high level or low level inputs. Mm-hmm. It auto senses between the two. I believe. Is there a switch? I don't remember. I don't even think there's a switch. I think it's just a nose. Yeah. But what you're looking for is something below that 5 volts. So, and most of the time, I've never really even seen a factory radio put out 5 volts. Most of them are down in that 2-volt range. Sometimes they'll get close to 4 if you're playing like 1,000 hertz and volume's cranked all the way up. But yeah, that's it. So that's what you're looking for. Just you're looking for exactly what comes out of a preamp section of an aftermarket radio. So if you meter that and you see what that's doing, if your factory radio is doing the same thing, you're golden. Okay. Sorry.
All right. What's up, John? John say, what's up from Arkansas? Guys, I need an idea to replace 4x6 and a 2005 Wrangler. Just swapping outtering.
Okay.
All right. Never sound good.
So he needs a new 4x6?
4x6 for 2005 Wrangler.
2005. Oh, the front dashes.
Yeah.
Okay, so forget putting the 4x6 in the dash. You can do Google like Jeep center console box. They make a nice box that sits right in front of the gear shifter. It has two 5.25-ish speakers that go there. Yeah. We always put the Rockford Punch speakers, and it just screws down. We use rivets and all that and overcomplicate the hell out of it. But trying to replace these, I mean, if you're cool into cutting the shit out of your hands, sorry for cussing twice today on the show. If you're cool to mangle your fingers, by all means, try to replace those. Really, at the end of the day, you just want something where the tweeter is recessed in. I'm looking over at my case here. The Exelons, the Rockford Punch, the magnet's going to be too big on, so that's going to work. So I'm thinking either the Exelons or the Pioneers, because you need something with a small magnet. Probably the Kicker CS series would work well too. We don't replace them anymore. I refuse to deal with that headache. Yeah, the Hertz D-Cheese would probably fit. We just go immediately to this box with the two 5.25s, and that's it. I'm not going back here anymore.
When we're gonna have a review on the Pioneer 44?
Roger Waters' Dogs of War.
Yeah. Soon. We're working on it.
Which one?
And the 44.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, Sam.
Dude, I started this whole thing with this whole quadraphonic sound, man.
Okay.
It's great.
All right. I'm not laughing because I don't know.
He's a quadraphonic sound, man. And let me tell you what. Okay, real quick, quadraphonic story. So, when I was a kid, small, below 10, so probably 7 or 8. This is the 70s.
All right.
My mom was dating this guy that played organ. Okay, he was an organ, like the big old school. I don't know if you guys remember, they used to have organ stores in the mall.
Okay.
I think it was a front for selling drugs or something, because they never, I don't know. He was an organ guy, dude. It was like going to church, and he would play Fiddler on the Roof. It was crazy. I mean, if you've ever seen anyone play an organ, the amount of switches on an organ, it just blows my mind that they know what all this crap. Anyways, the organ played quadraphonic sound.
Okay.
So we went to the mall and we bought the big quadraphonic amplifier. We bought these giant Yamaha speakers. We put them all around the living room. The whole subdivision would come when he'd kick this thing on, and he'd open the windows and we'd just jam out to this organ playing quadraphonic shit everywhere. There's three times tonight.
Okay.
Everywhere. And it was just like, he's playing Fiddler on the Roof, and you're just going, oh my God, this is so, I mean,
can I put it in my car?
Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh my God, this is just so, this is crazy. It was my first experience with something other than just one speaker and a crappy radio, and it was like, this is so cool.
Quadraphonic.
Quadraphonic, right, baby. Okay.
And this is the bedtime story.
Okay, that was Bedtime Story with Dean. Moving on to Car Audio Talk with Dean and Fernando.
Sam say hello from Alabama.
Hey from Mass. Okay.
I have a 2007 Tahoe with Bose system and backup sensors. I'm planning to get in a Kenwood DDX 9704S because of the capacitive screen.
Yes.
What will be the harness of choose for retain everything?
What was his name?
Sam.
Okay, so Jeremy took care of this. Jeremy recommended that he uses the Maestro iData piece if he's trying to get all that. Sorry, I got excited. My bad. Perfect. Macintosh. Ooh, Macintosh. Macintosh still is. We sold Macintosh car when we were at AV. We were the I have the most beautiful Macintosh leather jacket. We were the #1 retailer for Macintosh in the state. We might even have been in the country at the time. We bought a lot of Macintosh from them. And it was all car audio. And to this day, I mean, I had all the cool amps, and I sold them. I had the radio, I sold it. It's one of those things I kind of kicked myself, especially when I was looking. We were looking at.
Thank you, Jason, for answering the question.
At Derek's, you know, the big. I can't tell you how many of those big Macintosh MC4000s we put in. It was like crazy, but that's the goal: is to one day have a Macintosh home audio system. That's my dream. I bought Onkyo M504s. For those of you who have never seen an Onkyo M504, Google Onkyo M504. You'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. It was the closest, cheapest thing I could get to look like a Macintosh. They have the giant VU meters on them. They're awesome. They lit up green instead of blue. But that was the poor man's amplifier at the time.
All right.
Even though they were still stupid expensive. But,
so, Adam is... I have a 2013 Chrysler 200 with the basic stereo setup. I want to upgrade it with headrest monitors. What is your suggestion?
So headrest monitors, really the only ones we carry are the Vox. Vox still makes headrest monitors. They are pretty much the game in town when it comes to headrest monitors. They have the Movies to Go line, which is going to be your universal fit, and then they have the Perfect Fit, which you can. They're made to order, so they'll vehicle specific. That's gonna, you know, it priced accordingly. They're very expensive for vehicle specific, and then not so much for the other way around. Personally, buy your kids iPads. Call it a day.
All right, Jamie, Morel Tempo Ultra 502, Focal PS, 130 V1, and a Nissan Titan 2005 for some who listen country, ska, and dance music. I love dance music. Ooh.
You know, okay, I'll answer this with what the gentleman said today from Iowa. You know, because he had the Focal in his car.
Yeah.
And we were talking, he goes, I know you like Morel, what do you think about Focal? And I said, well, you know, if I couldn't have Morel, I was going to have Focal, okay? And he goes, I like Focal because the tweeter, to me, is crisper. And I was like, exactly, it is. The Focal is very crisp, very nice sounding. And I played him the song I would always demo Focals with, which is I can't remember, Crash Test Dummies or something like that. Anyways, because it was very basic, it was very sharp, and it was very nice. And that was the one thing about Focal that was great, is that the tweeter is very sharp. It's not bright, it's sharp. Focal is a little soft, but that's just by design, and that's the softness that I like. So, there. That's what I got.
All right. I don't know if you get this one.
James, yes. Thank you, James. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, hi, guys. What makes model head units are single DIN with screen below unit?
single DIN with screen below is going to be the Sony. The Sony has the all the Sonys not have the top portion is the drive,
yeah,
and then the screen. So they are reverse. Alpine is bottom screen up. Sony is
it's up
screen down.
All right. Do you guys think Sentra will be good to build a center console to hold a double DIN radio, half-inch, or brace a bunch internally?
So here's the thing you have to remember about. Okay, so here's
Sentra.
the thing you have to remember about Sentra. Sentra is a low heat bend. Okay, so a half-inch layered is going to be a lot better than paneled.
Yeah.
So if you stack fab it, as they would say, bracing is nice. The half-inch we haven't had any issues with. That's why we use that in the doors when we're doing half-inch, because it doesn't warp. Like quarter-inch will. Quarter-inch will warp 100% of the time if it's any place where it's going to get hot. That's why we have ABS for quarter-inch when we're doing temperature-sensitive products. Like anytime we build something underneath the hood and the guys in there, oh, that's gonna bend. No, it's not. It's made out of ABS quarter-inch. You know how hard it is to bend that stuff? Your engine bay is made out of ABS, for God's sakes. Slow it down, killer. But yeah, there's no reason. Half-inch or bigger, if you can go bigger, would be even better. Like you can get some 1-inch Sentra, woohoo, yeah, then you're awesome. But yeah, stack fab it.
All right, Manny say, hey guys from Miami, you guys mentioned in the previous episode
Yep.
that you were going
Hey, Tony.
What's up, Tony? Tony
That's
from
okay,
UK.
man. We're glad you're okay. You
Yeah.
always freak us out when we don't hear from you for a couple weeks. Thanks for chiming in.
But you're here.
Okay.
All right, so Manny from Miami say, you guys, in the previous episode, you guys going to recommend quality installers in different towns. We haven't get to that yet. It's hard.
So, yeah, I mean, all right, so bit of inside ball. Right now in the industry, the 12-volt industry, they're doing what's called the top 10 and the top 50 retailers and the top 50 installers.
Victor. Yeah.
So Ada, who's on here, is competing to be. We didn't partake in it. It's not that we couldn't. It's just we didn't partake in it because I produced the show. I work 6 days a week on that. I didn't have time to. It always sneaks up on us.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make excuses. We just didn't want to get involved in it because we weren't really up to the challenge at the moment. So it's not that we couldn't. We just, I really wasn't in the mood. At the end of the day, that's what it came down to. I was like, screw it. I'm not in the mood. I want to produce the show. It's much more rewarding to make the YouTube videos for you guys to watch than to try to get fanfare from the industry. Anyways, so the industry right now is doing this, and we're going to talk about it more over the next couple weeks because you get to vote for your favorite retailer if they're in your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
The nice thing about this competition is that, and this is the thing that is also discouraging about it, is they do the crappiest job ever of promoting it. Everyone that wins will put their logo next to their Instagram or their thing and say, I was a top 12 retailer, or I was a top 12 installer.
Mm-hmm.
But no time. What's time? Well, you guys are building a store, Greg, so I can understand yours. So they do this terrible job at promoting it outside of the industry. You know, and it's like, or you just promote it to your customer base. And it's like, well, guys, come on, man. So I think what we'll probably, and there again, there's no one cool YouTube area to go to that says, here's all the competitors for the top 50 installers of the year or the top 50 retailers of the year to help you guys, the consumers, be like, I want to have a quality job done in my car. I don't know anybody in Iowa. Who do I take it to? Exactly. Well, it just so happens that one of the top 50 retailers in the country is right down the street from you, but you have no idea of knowing because he has no way to promote himself to show it. And it's like, well, this sucks. I don't have an answer for it. I wish I did. I wish I should. Yeah, that might be something we need to talk to him about, is promoting it to you guys. But there again, it's just a
whole nother animal.
So What we'd like to do at some point in our life that I doubt would ever happen is be able to promote other dealers in the area that share the same passion that we do for doing quality work. They're out there. I know they're there. Their excuse is always the same. We're busy. We don't have time. Or whatever. You know, it's like, whatever, dude. If you're always too busy, then fine. I get why you're not promoting yourself, because you don't have time, you don't care. But
there you go.
Know, there's always room for more business.
Mike, 2018 Tacoma Premium JBL
What's up
system.
from Cali?
I replaced speakers with Focal 165s. Man, those tweeters are the way too bright. Is there a warmer tweeter?
Anything that's a silk soft dome or a cloth soft dome tweeter is going to be softer and not bright. Anything made out of metal is typically going to be in your face and loud. Not always, but sometimes. Typically, if you find something that is made out of cloth, it will be a little less shrill. Gregory, real quick for your question, as far as how do you hook up the speakers, they make the T-harness now, which is a APH-CH01, which if you go to pack-audio.com and you go to the Amp Pro, they make a T-harness now to solve the issue of when you bought the Amp Pro, you had no way to hook up your speakers to the amplifier. They have a T-harness for that now, so you can hook up all your wires. It's real simple. It's fixed. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. Let's see. What will be the most cost-efficient 2 4-gauge kit or 1 0-gauge kit?
So Stinger makes a product called Stinger Select, okay? And in the Stinger Select, they make a bunch of crappy wire, but then they make a 100% copper version, which is what you see us use all the time, which is this kit right here. Hold on.
Stinger Select.
It is this SS1200XS, this guy right here. This is 100% copper. It comes with a real fuse holder. It comes with an RCA. These are extremely reasonably priced. Okay, I want to say they retail for maybe 65 bucks. I think Paul sells these for 50 maybe. So yeah, you know, you can get into it. Now there's a bunch of companies out there that sell the stuff. I'm trying to think of what the Sonic Electronics uses, their brand that I always forget that people always ask us about. I believe they have a kit for the same price. At the end of the day, you want 100% copper. That's it.
Bye, Jason. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Fan Mike Eckley in the house. Hey, what's up? Is he? I didn't even see him. Cool.
Gotta
go, Jason. Thank you. Talk to you soon, Jason. All right, go ahead.
For Gabriel, please call Paul. He can give you like a quote, and if you're willing to drive over here, that will be cool. Let's see.
So is the PDX X F4 100 watts of RMS too much power for the tweeters? PDX F.
Dean, I think your cursing keeps it real. Show you passion.
What's
that? I think cursing keeps you real.
Yeah.
Shows you passion.
Yeah. Well, that's why I try to accentuate it right in there. No, the PDX F4 is 100 watts. I was just making sure. Is it too much for tweeters? MVX, thank you. Check out the MVX wire also. Sonic uses MVX. That's also a good price point brand. I've run the PDX V9 that way. The PDX V9 is actually 110 watts by 4. We've used that for doing tweeters and mid-range. The secret to all that is always gain overlap, meaning that your gains don't have to both be matching. That's where a lot of people just like get confused. It's like, look, man, find out where clip is and then work backwards, or distortion, as it were. You know, DD1 looks for distortion, not necessarily clip. It's 5%, 0.5%. Anyways, find out where bad is and then move backwards. A lot of the times with the Alpines, you really don't have to. There again, power handling really isn't the power isn't necessarily what kills the tweeter. It's the crossover point and the distortion getting to the tweeter that blows it. Crossover point is key on a tweeter, because if the tweeter moves too much, it blows. That's it. They don't move much. So that's where you're at. Power, you're fine with power.
Donna, will the Rock 4P 400x4 power series and the T265?
Christian and Victor are having a good time talking about who drives farther. Victor drives farther, and yes, we appreciate both you guys driving. Although the guy from Iowa that drove here today, he drove the farthest. Okay, he won. Iowa, and you two.
And kids, please.
Okay.
All right. The 400x4, the Power Series, and the T2s, 6.5s.
Yeah.
And the 6x9s.
Yes.
It's a good match.
Yeah. Yeah, you could answer that. Yeah. Yeah, Fernando could have answered that. You should just answer it, man. What aftermarket stereo do you recommend for 2017 F-150 with a 4-inch sync system? All of them. Anyone. Pick something. God forbid. Okay, there again. When you're trying to pick a radio, we always have a few things that you can always think about. First, how are you planning on playing your phone into the radio? That's the only question you ask, because if you're worried about playing CDs, give me a break. So, how do you want to play your phone in the radio is the question you should ask yourself. Are you just going to do it over Bluetooth? Do you want to do it over CarPlay or Android Audio? Do you want to do wireless with them now? Because that's a actual viable option now. Take your pick. Buy a radio that will do that for you. The other thing is, do you buy the cheapest radio out there, such as like a AVH 201EX? Or do you go all the way up to, let's say, just a 601? Or do you go to the 2400 or the new 4400? Or do you go into Kenwood and get the DDX 350, which is badass for entry-level radio that gives you tons of cool stuff and settings, but Bluetooth? Or do you go up to the 9904, 9905? Do you just scale it back and go to a 7705, which has no CD but gives you a cool touchscreen and 7-inch and all the great stuff? So that's what you need to figure out. How are you planning on putting your phone into your radio? And two, what are you going to do with it afterwards? What kind of features do you want? Meaning, are you going to be adding subs, amps? Do you need the premium sound package with the best? Or are you okay with okay? You know, that's it. That's all it comes down to.
All right, let's see.
Holding on to my CDs for dear life.
Do you see the Wayne's comment?
What's up, Dave?
Every time I install a set of headrest or flip downs monitor, I ask myself, really? You guys kids don't have iPads? That's true.
We just did one like last week we were talking about, and it's like we're putting in a 10-inch drop-down Alpine, which is a gorgeous. I mean, if you got to have a drop-down, the 10-inch Alpine is the gorgeous. Oh, the screen is just like. I mean, still it's 800 by 480, but they do a really nice job, man. They really push those 800 by 480s, make them look very nice. But yeah, it's like, wow, yeah, kid doesn't have an iPad?
Alright, so hello guys, on a Pioneer Double DIN Dex 4?
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to do a video by bypass.
Mm-hmm. It
doesn't work. Any suggestion about 3-wire bypass and grounding?
Alright, so when it comes to a Pioneer bypass, we'll talk about this briefly because we've got videos up on how to do the micro bypass. We use the micro bypass. Amp makes one now. It's called like a TR2 or TR1 or something like that. There is a delay that resets every time you turn on and off the key on a Pioneer that unlocks and locks the back end of the radio, okay? Now, sometimes you can ground the green wire, and then you can go for months, and it'll work perfect. And then all of a sudden, it stops, because let's say maybe you had your car taken to the shop, or the battery went dead, or something like that, and then it stopped working altogether. And you're like, what happened? It's because of that reset. It's eventually going to happen. The micro bypass is 3 wires. It's a light green, it's a blue, and it's a black. Basically what happens is every time the car turns on, it resets the micro bypass, which in turn resets the bypass onto the radio, and it unlocks the radio. The TR1, yes, the TR1, which is a ripoff of the micro bypass. It's a timing issue, okay? The idea is that you turn the car on with the brake off, or with the brake on, whichever you want to do, and you pull it up, you hold it, you release it, and you pull it up and hold it again, and then magically works. It needs to see that time. Every time, and it's I can't. Matt, the guy that makes them, would tell me exactly how much time it is, and that's that. But it needs to see that. Now, Kenwood doesn't need any of that crap. Alpine needs it. Sony doesn't need it. Voila.
All right, thank you, David. Thank you for watching. Dallas, what's up, guys? It's been a while since the last time I checked in. Just bought a new 7705S.
Thanks, Greg.
What maestro and harness is required? I have a 2011 Chevy Silverado non-ball system.
So, okay, one of the things that makes iDataLink Maestro amazing is their website, okay? When it comes to finding parts, they do the best job out of all these manufacturers of saying, okay, what do you have? And just going, doot, 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 doot. You need this, okay? So what I'm telling you is go to iDataLink.com, click on the Maestro tab on the top. There's two. There's a yellow, there's a green. You want green. Click on the green one and just start answering the questions it asks you. What it's going to do is it's going to whittle it down to the harness you need, the brain you need. It's going to ask you, do you have satellite radio, you want to retain it? Do you have a USB that you want? And it'll just give you the, boom, here you go. Buy that. And you're done. And then when you flash it, you'll do the process again. Magic.
Alright, it's a PTX F4, 100 watts RMS, too much power for tweeters.
We already answered that.
Oh, okay.
Best 6x8s. Those are going to be, like we said earlier in the show, the Rockford Power Series 6x8s. That's the one with the T, not the P.
Not the T, the P. Alright.
Thanks, I'll try the TR1. There you go, give it a shot.
Alright, Greg, by the way, the show last week was great.
Yeah, I talked.
Thank you.
Yeah. He works at Auto Styles. That's Greg from Auto Styles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, that's cool.
Do the wires? Do you got that one?
Do the wires match on a Pioneer 2005 or okay? Huh? Do the wires match on a Pioneer 8200 XC 2005 Denali, or are they different? They're going to be different. The 2005 Denali needs a smart harness. A smart harness would be like a RP4, GM something, or an RP5. You go to pack-audio.com. Now, once you buy that harness that plugs into it, because you're going to need a smart harness. That car uses data for turn-on. So behind that radio, you don't have an accessory power ground or anything like that. And if you cut that wire harness off, you should just stab yourself in the forehead because really.
Bye, Bismarck. Thank you so much.
So, pack-audio.com. Type in your make model. Decide whether you want OnStar or you don't want OnStar. You're probably not going to want OnStar, so you're going to want an RP4 product. So pick out their RP4 product that you want.
Yeah.
And you're golden. Media transfer problem. I think the show is okay.
What?
Just a media transfer problem. I don't know.
All right. So let's end the show.
Yeah, we do need to end the show. We're at an hour. Thank you guys as always. We're gonna call this one a night. It's been great. This was a fun show. I had a good time.
Yes.
DNF tool drawers where you can find all the cool tool needs. Teesprings, Teespring/store/5-star.
And if
Patreon if you want. Awesome. You guys have a wonderful night as always. We're gonna see you Saturday. So check us out on YouTube on Saturday. We'll answer more questions there.
Yeah, definitely, Wayne. Yeah.